I had somebody ask me one time where I had been, and I was flying back from the CrossFit Games, and she had on a CrossFit jacket, and she was like, "My husband competes." I was like, "That's awesome. So does mine." And this is when Rich first got started. She told me his story, and it was so amazing. And she was like, "Who's your husband? Did he do well?" So I said, "My husband's Rich Froning," and she laughed in my face. And her husband fell over the chair laughing. And she was like, "Honey, do you know how many times we've heard that this weekend?" And I was like, "You've heard what this weekend?" And she was like, "That they're with Rich Froning." I was like, "Well, I'd hope not too many," because I'm his wife. And she's like, "Do you have your driver's license?" And I was like, "I am absolutely not pulling out my driver's license to prove to you that I'm his wife." She goes, "That's what I thought." Well, the husband, I guess, had Wi-Fi or whatever and pulled it up. And he was like, "You really are Hillary." I was like, I don't really know what else to say. This is just awkward. She was like, "Sorry." I'm like, "Well, that was sincere." So I don't know who else at the time was saying they were Rich's wife, but sorry.
I think the only reason my mind is going and trying to figure out what the next thing to do is so I have something to take care of for them. So I mean, obviously if I could make enough money to where I could just hang out with them all the time, I would do it. I love hanging out with these guys. I love, being with them as much as I can, but you still got to provide for them. And that's the hardest balance for me is when am I sacrificing too much of being a dad to take care of them in the future that I'm missing out on the present,
I'm ready.
What do you think? I want to push hard so they have, so they're taken care of in the future and I can provide for them and spend more time with them, but it's you don't want to sacrifice too much of that now. And so it's that's what's cool about what I get to do. I mean, I'm blessed. Today, I mean, they hung out with us all day and they're at the gym and, may not be with them every minute of the time they're there, but at least they're around and they're, able to say, "Yeah, I hung out with my dad," or, we did whatever. So as much as I can, I take them wherever we go. Because let's be honest, I mean, we are working out a lot, but there's a lot of downtime. And so the more I hate that downtime if they're not there, that I'm not with them. So it's if I'm having downtime, I want them to be there to where I can at least hang out with them. It may slow us down a couple minutes here and there to get them ready to do whatever, but we're never in that big of a hurry. If it's a day where I have to we have to get stuff in, I might leave them at the house, but more often than not, I like to take them there. And luckily I have a really good group of people that are gonna help me take care of it. It's not just me. Tasia loves them, Kristen loves them, Ellie loves them, and then even having Darren or Jaden or somebody in the back that can kind of take care of them while we're working out is huge. And everybody loves our kids. Well, they act like they love our kids, but
I feel like when you become obsessed with something, and I was very much obsessed with having a baby. It consumes your life, as in doctor's appointments, and all your friends are having kids. Kids are all over the grocery store, and nothing he said was right. Everything he said made me mad.
It was hard, you know, it was every time that it didn't work, it was almost like we lost a baby, you know. There were times where Hillary thought, you know, it worked this time, you know, and then just seeing her just crumble. That was hard, because for me, it was like, until it worked or until it didn't work, I was just kind of like not worried about it either way, because I don't know if it's the men's mentality of it or what, but it was different. But to watch her have that hope and then see it just, you know, the rug pulled out from under her, that was the hard part.
I think the hardest part too was being told by every doctor, this is it, like this is gonna work for you. And then nothing ever worked. So then we finally got into a specialist at Vanderbilt. And we walked in, we'd waited a month to see her. Walked in and she put the paperwork on the desk and she was like, I'm sorry, you're too severe, I can't help you. And that was the night that I told Rich I couldn't do it anymore.
You know, the infertility actually probably affected our marriage in a positive way. I mean, we got closer. I think she, you know, she for a while struggled with you know, feeling like a lesser of a woman, and felt like she was failing me. And it was like, you're not failing me, like they can't really, like we're both perfectly healthy, like there's no reason why it shouldn't work. It's just not working, you know, and that is what it is. And so her being a mother wasn't the only reason she was my wife or anything like that. So what's wrong, boy? And
now he's spoken at 2 or 3 adoption agencies of dads, and he talks about our journey, and he talks about how crazy I was. And I look around and there's these dads and they're crying. And then I get emotional. And they say the same thing. It's like, well, how do you help your wife? And he's like, just watch out. He's like, there's just nothing you can say. And there's not. You know, everything's wrong. And then they say the same thing too. Well, I'm just not on board. And she's ready. And I'm not. And he says the same thing. He's like, I wasn't either. And he wasn't. He didn't want to adopt yet. And he's like, but when you are, and there's a reason.
No, this way, right here.
My parents weren't quite as patient sometimes, and my aunts and uncles, and like I've watched some of that, and I don't know, like, you know, there are times where I'll get after them, you know, like once they, you know, I'll try to be as patient as I can, but give me that. Come here, hold on. You can't have that.
You gotta hit it.
You can't, you don't need joint promotion, you're too little. Trice, man. Get a cup, get that cup. Yeah, I don't know. My parents were never, I guess my parents weren't super patient with me when I was a kid. Trice, hey,
I'm gonna move
hey.
it back on.
Oh, sorry, baby. Trice, come here, boy. Trice.
It's just blurred chest.
There you go. Now drive.
I feel like I'm kind of winging it. I feel like there are definitely days where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I also feel like I just really enjoy it. By no means is it easy. You know, it's definitely hard. But it's also so fun. Like, I just love every bit of it. And I feel like that's what makes it even more enjoyable and also not as overwhelming at times when literally everybody's screaming and crying. Lakelyn. Learn too, it's very easy to be brave on the internet and brave on behind a keyboard, because I don't think people that send, you know, not even on blogs and comments, they actually send me messages. I'm like, would you say that to my face? Like, I've never had anyone say anything mean to my face. I think I'm getting better at it. I don't think I handled it well when Lakelyn was really small. I felt like I was trying to just please everybody, and even complete strangers on the internet. Like, I wanted everyone to like me and approve of my decisions and what I was doing. And the simple fact is, you can't make everybody happy, and everybody parents different, and everybody does what's best for their children.
Happy birthday to you.
Somebody commented saying that you weren't a real mom.
Oh yeah, I get messages like that all the time. I don't even know what that means. I think it's funny.
And I don't look into anything some idiot says online, because that's how they are. They're, you know, they if you knew that girl, that you'd know that she's the best mama there is.
I'm assuming that they're saying that I don't have children that are biological and look like us, is what they're trying to insinuate. With Lakelyn, when I got those messages, even when we first adopted her, and it broke my heart. People were just so mean, and now I just laugh, block, and delete them. They don't even respond. I don't send them. I'll be praying for you. I just see you later. I just hi. So again, you can't please everybody, and you just can't explain ignorance sometimes. Like, my kids are real. I'm a real mom. So, and if you don't feel that way, I suggest, why don't you come and hang out here for like 15 minutes? My kids are very much real. They are loud, they're crazy. It's like a preschool around here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Violet. Happy birthday to you.
Blow it out. Do you want help, Blake? Ready? Go. Blow it out. Blow it out. Show her. Show her how to do it. I mean, you hope you think you're doing the right thing, but I don't think, you know, I always tell people when like friends have kids, I'm like, here, the only pieces of advice I'm gonna give you is don't listen to anybody, and don't let your kids sleep in the bed. Because everybody wants to tell you what they want to tell you, but you know, it's all different. You know, everybody's different, and what works for everybody is different. And Lakelyn sleeps in the bed, so, you know.
You got pretty flowers?
I think so. I don't know.
Do they smell good?
Whoa, easy there. You're not gonna marry anybody right now. You don't want flowers. You wanna go over there and see Violet?
I just want them to stay little as long as they can. And you know, you hear it goes by so fast. And it's so true. And you try to enjoy as much as you can. And I try to remember as much as I can. Like, all three of them, I have a little journal and stuff for them, but I still feel like people ask me a question, oh, well, when did they get their first tooth, or when did they do that? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I can tell you about Lakelyn, but then the other two, I feel like it's just been such a blur. This season has just been so crazy in our life. I'm like, what's in their book? But I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I'm sitting on the remote. Okay, kid. Where is it? My bad. Chuck. See, she's not patient with me. That's the best title in the world, I think, is being dad. shows you, you know, obviously my faith is a huge part of who I am, and what I believe in is, you know, like the foundation, but it really shows you what unconditional love is, you know, like I don't think it's hard for you to kind of fathom that before you have kids. You're kind of like, you know, oh yeah, I believe in unconditional love, but until you have kids, you don't realize, like, 1 second, like, they could do the meanest, most rotten thing ever, but you still love them. You know, they're your kid no matter what. And so that's really helped me, from a faith perspective, realize, you know, that it can happen and it is true. So, you know, those kids are my kids, and I love them more than anything. So it's pretty cool.